Well, Superman and Lois's final season finally hit, and I just got through it. I liked the show. I did, and I really didn't expect to. But I did, though, follow pretty much all of the CWDC stuff. Pretty much all of them except Arrow. I don't know. Somehow, for whatever reason, I couldn't get into Arrow. I even tried like at least 2 or 3 times, and just something about it I just didn't dig, and I just never made it through the first season and just lost interest. And I started watching it when it first hit because I was curious about a Green Arrow show, and also, The Flash, when it first hit, I started watching it. I didn't make it all the way through the first season for different reasons. There was a lot going on in my life at the time. It was hard to catch the episodes week to week as they were airing because it wasn't like on-demand streaming at the time. So I fell off of it and didn't get back to it till later. And then Supergirl as well. Same thing. Started watching it, kind of liked it, but couldn't keep up with it week to week. And so eventually I found them on Netflix. The CW stuff was all over on the Netflix service, streaming on demand, all the previous seasons, and every time a season would wrap, it would move over to Netflix and you could binge it at your leisure. And so I did finally get into the shows. Tried Arrow, still couldn't get into it, but did get into Flash, did get into Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, and binged through them all up until I caught up with the current running episodes going on in the seasons, because there was quite a few seasons still to come, and I followed them all the way through till they were over from then on. And then this Superman and Lois came along after Supergirl wrapped, and it was the last one. The only one still currently running, and it featured the same actors who had played Superman and Lois on the CW in the other shows. So it was the same actors, and I did like Tyler Hoechlin's Superman, Hecklin, however you pronounce it. But this one was different, and I really didn't think I was going to like it because it featured a Superman and Lois with kids, like teenagers, twin boys, fraternal. Not identical, but twin boys, Jonathan and Jordan, and them about to start high school. And so that's where we start, is with these teenage boys and Superman Lois in Metropolis trying to balance all of their professional careers at the planet with the family and the boys. And of course, Superman doing his thing and saving the world from whatever he needs. This looks like a job for Superman, and he'd take off and go do his thing. And it just was getting to the point where they felt like they needed to slow down and give more of their time to the family. And so they decided to move it back to Smallville, to the farm, the Kent farm, and let the boys go to high school in Smallville, where life is a lot simpler, a lot less issues, especially for Jordan, who was a handful and a half emotionally and had even been diagnosed with social anxiety disorder. He was a loner, and he was in therapy and all that. So, and of course, brother Jordan, or Jonathan, couldn't be more of an opposite. He was a level-headed kid, well-adjusted, athletic, on the football team, popular, lots of friends, totally the opposite of Jordan. I'm thinking to myself, really, this is what we're doing with Superman? We're leaving Metropolis, going back to the small town roots to focus on this family that really never existed before this series. I don't think I'm going to like this at all. But you know what? Turned out I did like it a lot. Just going through the first few episodes, it was apparent that no, it's not just going to be this family thing with no Superman and no comic-y kind of qualities to it. But no, it did have lots of comic-y qualities to it. And there were lots of Superman stuff going on in it. And the way they dealt with balancing that with the family and the boys manifesting powers and having to deal with that. And no, it was actually really good. I really enjoyed the show, and sorry to see it go. This last season, total farewell season, because they had to get the axe, because we got the new Superman coming to the big screen, so can't be having two Supermans running at the same time. Anyway, but this final season, it was very emotional, because they're saying goodbye. They did the death of Superman, which I thought they did a really good job with in the context of the series. Doomsday was bizarro and had been modified by Luthor and turned into this great big giant Doomsday monster. It looked just like Doomsday even, and did successfully kill Superman. He didn't stay dead. Long story. I'm not going to get all into the details and spoilers, but yeah, Superman did come back from the dead. But no, he killed him, and there was no question. And of course, Luthor in the context of the series, he was a little different from the most other ways you've ever seen Luthor portrayed before. But it was good. It was good. He was a pretty ruthless dude and had been sent to prison for something he didn't even do. And it came out that he didn't do what he had been convicted of, so he was let out after 17 years of being locked away with all the things that they could have got him on that they never were able to put together enough of a case. The one thing that they got him on was something he didn't even do, and it turned out it was a total setup with some other people that framed him. And all that came out 17 years later, and Luthor comes after Lois Lane and Clark Kent because they were the ones who got him put away back in the before time. So no, it was really good. Like I'm kind of sad to see it go, because I did enjoy the show quite a bit, and I think they did get cut short because of the big screen reboot that we're getting from James Gunn. And so since they were pretty much, they knew this was their final season, there was no question about it. And I mean, the way the season played out and the events of it, and especially the finale, you know it's over. There's no question. There, no coming back to it. And it was wrapped up really well. I think it was very satisfying for people watching it, like me, and for the production team and the cast and crew and everybody who was worked on it. It was a really, really suitable farewell final season. And it's pretty much the end of the CWDC stuff. So, which is the end of an era, really. It went on for a long time. I liked it. I liked how DC it was. I thought that the CWDC stuff was more like, it was very classic, like Silver Age DC, which I liked and I appreciated. I thought that CW did a better job at the DC vibe that they had in their series than the big screen stuff we were getting, like, Man of Steel, Dawn of Justice, this new DC Universe franchise thing that fell flat, and they've been in damage control ever since. And now we'll see what James Gunn's going to do with it, if he's going to be able to revitalize it. I think he will. I think there's a lot of people who would want to see that happen. And because there's a lot of DC fans out there who have been very disappointed in what DC's been doing with their live action stuff. I'm one of them. Anyway, back to Superman and Lois. That's what this is supposed to be about. If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend you check it out. There's a whole lot in it that's really good, and especially if you are a fan of Superman. They do a really good job with him. It's really good, and I was surprised at how good it was, because the DC CW stuff was on its way out. This was the last show that they were going to do. And I was like, what are they going to do with this? But, it was good. It really was. It's a guilty pleasure for me, if nothing else. I really enjoyed the show. And, again, sorry to see it go, but I was very satisfied with the final season. So I guess that's all I really have to say about that. Thanks for listening, if you still are. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to listen to this. And on that happy note, we'll talk to you soon. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks a lot.